Welcome to Basic Rhythm video number 2. Today's topic to be covered are groups of 4 eighth notes, which corresponds to numbers 5 through 8 in your Basic Rhythm packet. Let's get cracking. In the second video, we're going to start by reviewing the two symbols we learned previously. The first is the quarter rest, which looks like this. The other is the core note, which looks like this. Today, the note we're going to learn is the eighth note, and in this video, we're only going to deal with them in groups of 4. What happens when we have an eighth note is we are going to double our speed, or we're going to play twice as many notes in the same space as a quarter note. In this instance, we're going to have groups of 4 together. So if you were going to draw them, you can start by drawing 4 circles. And you can have 4 stems coming out. And then we're going to connect them all with one big long beam. These 4 notes would actually be over a 2-beat period, which you'll see in our next example. Here we have 4 beats worth of time represented by the blue rectangles. If we go ahead and we just pull 4 quarter notes in, it'll look like this, and this should be very easy to count as it's similar to what we did in the previous video. Now if we're going to count these, we would simply write below them 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, it's going to get more complicated. We'll start with 2 quarter notes, which are going to look like this. And then let's add one of those groups of 4 eighth notes. As you can see, it covers 2 of the blue rectangles, so it's going to take up 2 beats worth of time. Now, if we're going to count this one, we would start at the beginning, and it would be the same as before. So we'd have 1, 2, and here's where it gets interesting. So we're in beat 3, so we're going to have 3, and then we're going to say and. I'm going to use a plus sign because I can't draw fancy ampersand, but that's often what's used because we're going to have 3 and another note, and then similarly in the last box we're going to have 4 and another note. Now let's take a look at rhythm number 5. You'll notice at the very beginning of the piece we have our time signature, 4-4 as you would expect. We still have all of our bar lines going through the piece, separating every 4 beats, and at the very, very end we have that double bar line telling us to stop. Let's count our rhythm together. We're going to start with 4 quarter notes in the first measure, which we remember we'll count 1, 2, 3, 4. Then since we have our bar line, we're going to reset, and we'll start again at 1. We have an eighth note, so there's going to be 2 in beat 1, so it's 1 and another 1. Then we'll be in beat 2 and another 1, 3 and another 1, 4 and another 1. Then we have our bar line telling us to recount over. We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4. We reset again, and finally we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's how we count the first line. Now that we have written out the counts for rhythm number 5, let's try actually counting through it out loud together. First thing you want to do is turn on your metronome to about 80 beats per minute. Then, after your metronome is going, you'll want to think through your counts. The quarter notes are going to be the same space as a tick, and the eighth notes are going to go twice as fast. Let's try counting it together. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Very good. As you can hear, the eighth notes go twice as fast, or you're going to have twice as many in the same space as a quarter note. Now that we have counted through and tried counting together out loud, let's try playing together. Remember, we'll be playing at 80 beats per minute, and the piano will be playing an A if you wish to match notes. 1, 2, ready, play. And that's all there is to it. So remember, when you're counting those eighth notes, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You'll be evenly dividing your beat in half and playing your notes 2 times as fast. Please remember to use a metronome when you're practicing, and we'll see you in the next video.